The thing to remember about dividing by fractions is that dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. That means that we need to rewrite this division problem as multiplication. And when we do that, the first fraction is going to stay the same as 3x over 4x times x minus 5. But division will turn into multiplication. And instead of multiplying by this fraction, we're going to multiply by its reciprocal. That means that the 6 is going to go in the denominator, and the 7 times x minus 5 will go in the numerator. Now that it's a multiplication problem, we're going to go through and cancel common factors. X minus 5 stands out to me, so do the two x's, and then there's also this 3, which is a common factor of 6, and that'll leave us with 2. Now go through the whole fraction and see what's left. In the numerator, the only thing is the 7, but in the denominator we have 4 and 2. So we should simplify this fraction as 7/8. If we're dealing with polynomials inside of fractions, we need to factor them first. We can factor them as well as turning the division into multiplying by the reciprocal at the same time. So the first fraction is going to stay the same but be factored. In the numerator, I can factor out a 5 and be left with x plus 3. In the denominator, we have the difference of 2 squares, so that's going to factor into x plus 3 and x minus 3. Now dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. So instead of having x squared minus 25 in the numerator, it's going to go in the denominator, and I'm going to factor it. It's the difference of 2 squares, so that's going to factor into x plus 5 and x minus 5. The 2x plus 6 is going to move to the numerator, and I'm going to factor out a 2. That'll leave me with x plus 3. Now go through and cancel all common factors between the numerator and the denominator. I see this x plus 3 is canceling, but that's it. So now we write down everything that we're left with. In the numerator we have a 5 and a 2, that'll make 10 times x plus 3. And in my denominator I have an x minus 3, an x plus 5, and an x minus 5. So that's going to be our simplified fraction. Let's do one more. With x squared plus 4x minus 12, we'll factor that into x plus 6 and x minus 2. In the denominator, x squared minus 5x plus 4 is x minus 4 and x minus 1. Dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal, so the x squared minus 4 will go in the denominator, and that will factor into x minus 2 and x plus 2. In the numerator, 4x minus 4, we can factor out a 4, leaving us with x minus 1. Now that it's completely factored, we cancel common terms. And I see this x minus 1 and this x minus 2. The 4 and the x minus 4, they're not going to cancel, so we write what we're left with. In the numerator, that's a 4 and an x plus 6, and in the denominator, it's x minus 4 and x plus 2.